Should have known. I should have known what I was getting myself into. Welcome to Star Joes. I'm your host Ryan, and today we're going to be covering Snake Eyes Dead Game #1 by story and art by Rob Liefeld and script and dialogue by Chad Bowers. What do I say about this issue that hasn't been said already? There's not much. People have had a lot of things to say about this. I will tell you, before the issue came out, I actually got a little bit excited about it. I'm not a Rob Liefeld fan, but there's been things he's done in the past that I've enjoyed. Some of his artwork I've really enjoyed. Obviously, love what he did with Deadpool over the years and things like that. But also have seen the bad side of Liefeld and the things that people ridicule him for, which is unfortunately is justly deserved in some cases. So I did think about it. I was like, okay, but he's coming to G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. He can maybe breathe some life into this, because it seems like IDW's not 100% sure what to do with G.I. Joe. They're still having a Real American Hero going on. That's doing very well. I really like the stories that they've been doing in there overall. And then the G.I. Joe relaunch has been kind of hit or miss for me. Some issues are okay, and some issues are really great. I know issue 7 came out recently. I haven't had a chance to read that one yet. I heard that's really good. But I believe issue 3 or 4 was a focus on Major Blood, and I really liked that issue. That was done really well. But IDW, just like I said, seems to be kind of struggling the last several years when it comes to the G.I. Joe property. So when I heard Rob Liefeld was coming onto it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it could breathe some life back into G.I. Joe. And if there was ever a character in G.I. Joe that Rob Liefeld could write and draw, it would be Snake Eyes. So I got a little excited, and then the issue came out, and there's tons of covers for it, of course. Just, trying to milk that first issue before people read it, evidently, because after reading it, I was like, this is exactly what I was afraid we were going to get. This is the Rob Liefeld I was afraid of getting. So the art in places is good. There's a lot of pin-up shots where it's just that iconic moment where you could just take that out, put it on a pin-up shot, and hang it up in a room or something like that. So I'm sure that's done intentionally. It's kind of his style. And then there's pages like where Timber shows up, and Timber looks like a badger instead of like a wolf. And then you have the Roadblock image at the very end that looks a lot like his Captain America image that he's notoriously known for. But then you have to start looking at the story. And I know he put the story together, but the script and dialogue was also put together by Chad Bowers. So I don't know how much is Rob Liefeld and how much is Chad Bowers, but there's just things that happen in this that I just don't get. I just don't understand. You have Tripwire showing up. So Snake Eyes gets sent in on this mission. He lands in this secret area, and he fights his way through a whole bunch of like ninja type defenders. And then he just stumbles across Roadblock and Tripwire, who are trying to open up a door. How did they get through all of the soldiers and everything else? Why weren't they being attacked? And then Tripwire just disappears the rest of the issue. He's there to help unlock the door. He's still on the mission with them, but we don't see him. And at the very end, there's a shot with Scarlet and Roadblock and Joe Colton and Snake Eyes, and Tripwire is just gone. He's just disappeared. Joe Colton, they find out is who has sent the SOS secretly. He was brought in to decipher a scroll that could bring back this being, this immortal, and that's really the enemy in the issue, and we'll get to him in a minute. But why does Joe Colton know how to decipher this scroll? Like, we don't get any background with him to know like that he would know this type of language or anything like that. And I get that all the Joes have their specialties, but you got to lay some groundwork. You got to lay some hints along the line that this character knows what would be on this ancient scroll. Then these ninjas resurrect this being who is this immortal, and he seems like he's just here to take over the world. I don't really know what his motivation is, actually. And he looks like Deadpool slept with the Mummy, and that's where we get this just generic looking mummified red guy who wants to fight Snake Eyes, and who, by the way, speaks perfect English and sounds like a modern day person. How does that happen? He's been asleep for 1,000 years according to the issue. So there's just a lot that can be picked apart in this issue. The story is not put together well. The art is kind of all over the place. This immortal being, number one, doesn't even have a name. We don't get any hints to a name. Maybe we'll find out in issue 2. I don't know. But you couldn't even have like the people summoning him say his name or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like Voldemort. It's he who shall not be named. But not only does he look generic, the ninjas look generic. He also, size proportions is all over the place with the art. There's some panels where he looks like he's just a little bit bigger than Snake Eyes, and then there's other panels where he looks like he's 2 or 3 times the size of Snake Eyes. I don't know why he's so big. We again don't have any background for this at all. I'm just at a loss for this issue. The story falls apart all over the place. The art falls apart all over the place. I can give this no other rating other than it deserves to be thrown into the Sarlacc pit, where it can be slowly digested over 1,000 years, which would be appropriate since the guy who Snake Eyes is up against in this has been asleep for 1,000 years, so he should be fine inside the Sarlacc pit. I am not looking forward to reading issue 2 of this. I don't think anyone is. If you enjoyed it, hey, more power to you. I'm sure there's a lot of Liefeld fans out there that maybe loved this. I thought it was fantastic. Wasn't for me. But what is for me is we're on the last several days of my Stealth Hammer comic. Links are down in the comments below, the info section below. Please check it out. We just have a few days left. We've hit our goal, so you know we're going to be actually producing this comic. So I'm excited to do that for you. I promise it's going to be a much tighter story than the Snake Eyes issue was. Want to give a shout out. I'm going to do this over the next few days when I do some of these video reviews. I want to shout out to certain members of the team. First and foremost, I do need to give a shout out to my wife, Jamie, who is the inspiration for the character. It was her nickname of Stealth Hammer that sparked this whole thing. Got a commission done of her as a superhero, and that's really what set me down this path. She is helping with, when it comes to, she created the logo for the character, the title page. She's going to be helping me with a lot of the editing of credit pages and things like that. So to make everything really look sharp, really look good. So so first, of course, wanted to acknowledge her. In future episodes, I'll acknowledge some of the other creative team. If you want to learn more about the story of Stealth Hammer and the characters in Stealth Hammer, check out the Kickstarter. And I will be having some more episodes coming out in the next few days. One thing I want to hear from you guys in the comments below, though, is there a writer or artist, or a writer and an artist who has never worked on G.I. Joe before that you would like to see them do a G.I. Joe story? And why? Like, what in their body of work tells you that they would be a good candidate for doing a G.I. Joe story? I want to see that in the comments below. I'm really interested to see who you guys would like to see on a title of G.I. Joe or Snake Eyes or something like that. So with that, we'll go ahead and close the episode by saying the Force will be with you, because knowing us is half the battle. Take care, guys.